Yo, what's up, guys? Happy Monday. Let's actually go to the face cam. I never use the face cam, so I'm gonna start doing that for the intros. Yes, hello. I hope you guys are having a good day. It's March. This year's going by pretty quick already, but I've been getting a lot of stuff done. I hope you guys have too. Today, oh yeah, also, a couple things actually. First of all, this is that new Morph merch. I don't know if you guys have seen him advertising it. Where is it at? That new Morph merch. It looks sick. It's unreleased right now, but keep up to date on his socials. I think he's about to release it here soon. So just a little plug for that. Number two, we have the demo email on the screen right now. Plan is to do the track feedback on Friday. So we're going to go ahead and just stack all of those submissions throughout the week, and then we'll review those all on Friday, probably towards the end of the stream, same as like last time, so probably around like 4 o'clock or so. We're going to do it last week, but I was busy. Nick was sick, so we didn't end up doing it. But this week, we're gonna go ahead and do that. So submit your music to baseventurademo@gmail.com. That email that is obviously on the screen right now. What else? Oh yeah, and so that track that we were working on last week, I had said on the stream on Friday that I was gonna go ahead and finish that over the weekend because I didn't want that to carry on any longer. I feel like I had been on that long enough, and I just wanted to move forward from that. So I did finish that. I finished it. It definitely still needs some work. I'm not totally happy with it, but I'll show you guys where I got with it. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about kind of like what my plans are for it. Either way, though, it was a fun experience, and it was a cool project. So we're gonna go over that today. We'll do like we'll go over that project. I'll kind of explain some of the stuff that I added to it. We'll kind of just do like a full track breakdown, especially for the people that like haven't been tuned in throughout it. So we'll do like a track breakdown on it briefly. I don't want it to be too long. And then this week we're going to be doing like pretty much exclusively sound design, which is going to be fun. I've been having a lot of fun with Phase Plant lately. You guys know I've been messing with that. So we're going to do some sound design. We might do some like just like intro writing stuff, not necessarily like for a specific song, but just to kind of set aside for some writing later. But just maybe lay down some like chord progressions, some melodies and stuff. Just stuff to throw in the toolkit, and then maybe we'll make some drums. I don't know. We'll see kind of where it goes. But this week I'm probably not going to do any track writing on stream, because I'm not going to do any track writing off of stream either this week. I'm strictly going to be doing sound design and just getting ready to write some more tunes probably next week. So yeah, so we talked about the demo email. I think that's good. New music also. New music coming out this month. So we're in March now. I have my collab with Morph coming out. I don't know what day yet. I got to talk to him and we got to figure out kind of the plans for it. But yeah, that's going to be coming out this month. We've been sitting on it for a while, so I'm excited to get it out there. So I'm probably going to be shooting for like mid-March to get that out, because I need to get some of the promo materials together. I started working on the art, but there's some more work to be done, and I gotta talk to Cody and see, kind of come up with a plan for release on that. But yeah, new music this month for sure. Let's go ahead and hop into Ableton. Cool. All right. So yeah, so this is that project, the project that we had been working on. I'll go over the master as well. It's pretty like, I put in like a big session yesterday. I was working on this. Yeah, thanks, Cody. You missed, if you just hopped in, you missed it. I was just I plugged your merch. I also was just telling them about the release this month. So exciting stuff all the way around. But yeah, cool shirts. Let's go back to the face cam. Cool shirts. Be on the lookout for that Morph merch. But yeah. Oh yeah, let me take the demo email off this screen. Yeah, keep sending songs, keep sending music to the demo email. We're gonna review those. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just kind of break down this track after. The master, I put in like such a long session on this yesterday, just trying to like wrap it up the best that I could. It sounds pretty good. The master, I just kind of like slammed it through the master. I wasn't super particular about it. I'll kind of, like I said, I'll tell you kind of what my vision is for this song and what I think is going to be best to end up doing with it. But let's run it. Oh yeah, the other thing to note is I think before this would become releasable for me, I would probably redo this entire intro. So I was thinking about doing it last night, but I was over it because I'd already put in a long day on it. So yeah, I didn't put too much care into this because I think before this would be releasable, this whole thing would be redone. This whole intro and theme section would need to be rewritten, which is cool. Yeah, which is fine. So yeah, let's go ahead and run it and make sure my audio is set up. Are we missing? Did I add this? Maybe I added this. I remember adding this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this section at all, but we're gonna run it so you guys can listen.
G-O-A-T. Hey, yo, check me. I'm a great. Leaving them damaged, yeah. Hey, yo, check me. I'm a great. G-O-A-T. G-O-A-T. Hey, yo, check me. I'm a great. Leaving them damaged, yeah. Hey, yo, check me. I'm a great. G-O-A-T.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm happy I was able to at least get like the idea wrapped up. It's still very like work in progressy. There's like a lot of stuff like some of the breaks in here are still very like really clunky. And then like I said, I would rewrite this intro. I was thinking about it last night actually. I think ideally what I'd want to do is kind of use this ARP, maybe simplify it a little bit, make that just like a supporting layer, and then just throw like some type of top line on there, some type of top melody to carry that, because I just don't like what it's doing. I wanted to go for that whole thing. I mean, and it's what this accomplishes with having like the something really bright and like major key type thing here in the theme, and then that way when the build switches, it like completely changes the vibe. And this like accomplishes it. I just like don't like it that much. So before something like this would be released, that would definitely be adjusted. Drop idea is cool though. I'm pretty happy with where that went. I think overall with this track, I don't think this is I'm gonna release this especially as is. This is something. It was kind of a fun experiment because it was like the first track that I made on stream, which had its own struggles. I noticed. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of hold on to this and probably send it out for a collab. I have no idea with who, but eventually probably get this out there for a collab. So, but yeah, so we can go ahead and kind of do a track breakdown. I know a lot of the people that were watching last week and stuff are for the most part up to date, but I'll kind of go over what's going on here, and especially what I did off stream over the weekend. So we'll just start. Yeah, I guess I'll just start at the top and work my way down. Global trigger, just my trigger for the side chain right here. All of my side chain is ran through like these separate sidechain channels within my groups that are then routed to my volume shaper, or routed to a volume shaper on the end of my chains here on the group. So you'll see that there's the giant side chain that I'm using there in the drop. So we have our drums here. I don't think I edited these too much other than like adjusting the pattern where we need to. So kick and snare. I'm getting like some bleed into the microphone. Give me one sec. Let me know if the audio sounds weird. I think we should be good though. It's pretty minimal. So kick and snare. And then within this group, we also have just like the little layers, like here in the intro. There's some distorted stuff. This is usually how I organize it too. I'll just have like a big drums thing that has just most of like the kick and snare elements, build claps, all that type of stuff is all in one, and then I'll have like a separate group for the percussion. So percussion here, we'll hear it in context with the drums. Really simple loop. Percussion in here, we have this broken down into a few different layers. I have this is pretty simple. There's this like underlying, just adding some texture to the percussion, just filling in the spots a little bit, and then just really simple. I have this ride. So just kind of going back and forth between those two, but then on the off beats, I layered two more layers, one pretty much hard panned right, one hard pan left. So then you get this. So like on that off beat, it kind of opens up and then it comes back in, and then opens up, comes back in. And then the only other thing in here is just some of this percussion, like that was in the intro here. Some stuff I think just like with some erosion on here, or some other simple stuff. Yeah, it's all pretty straightforward and simple there. And then we have our subgroup here. I have I'll put, for the most part, anything sub related into this group. So there's like this impact sub drop here that kind of goes with the build up. Yeah, really simple kind of build with that like sub layer there. It probably actually needs to be tightened up a little bit. And then we have the main sub. This main sub. Oh yeah, I forgot. So the way that I have this set up right now, let me turn this off so you can hear. This is like the tone of the sub. Distorted pretty good. I'm doing all of the distortion on there just in the multipass. So I have everything above 100 hertz has distortion, and I'm just using the built-in distortion on the multipass, the kilohertz one. And then I also have Faturator on there as well, which is nice because you can edit this fuzz. So you can see you can really get like a lot of top end power there, but it keeps everything under 100, over 100 or under 100 hertz really clean. And then yeah, just EQing out the extra stuff without this EQ. So much buzziness going on there because of the distortion, obviously, but then we clean that up here. Makes it sit in there a little bit better on the low end, cutting everything out under 20 hertz just to clean up any messiness that might be going on there. And then on the top end right now, about 730 hertz is where I'm cutting that. And then I'm just using this gate here. So I'm using the gate, and then this is just something I've been experimenting with lately because I've never done it this way, or I've never used the gate this way. But I'm just sending just the side chain here to my bounce group, which is pretty much just like my updated drop sound group. So make sure that like my sub stays tight to the sounds, which works in some songs, others it doesn't. Sometimes I want the sub to purposely break away from like what the drop sounds are doing. In this situation, I wanted to follow them, mostly because I wanted to experiment with this, with using the gate this way, because I never really do it like that. But it worked out really nice. The only pain is that I can't just solo this and listen to it because we don't have any signal coming from this bounce group. But if I do this together, so you can hear that that's getting followed pretty well. Yeah. So, and then that side chain, and then here, as far as the drop sounds, so the reason why I have like the mids copy, and then the bounced one. So the mids is what I was working in on Friday. So this has obviously all of the drop sounds at this point. Pretty much everything was in audio already. So I had everything in audio here, and then when I duplicated this, this was when I knew I was going to do some rearranging of the drop, and I wanted to kind of keep the original as like a reference and to pull things from, just in case I went too far with experimenting and messed it up a little bit. So that's why I made the copy. And then what I did is in this mids group, you'll see that there's quite a bit of these sounds, if not all of them. Just about all of them are layered. So this one they're not like perfectly layered like on time, but this is this sound right here. Sounded kind of weird. I think I might even have some of the processing. Oh yeah, I have the gate turned off there. But the short of it is what I wanted to do is just pretty much consolidate this all down so that there weren't these multiple layers. I wanted to, just pretty much bounce those all out into one single layer. So then that's what this bounced one is. Make sure when you're doing this though that you are aware of like what is on your groups. Because for example, like on this, I have like this, or is it that effect rack or is it this one? Yeah, so I have like this rack on the group here. It could have been on this group as well too, but I turned that off when I was bouncing everything. So this is kind of doing some cleaning and also makes it louder. So I turned this off before I bounced it and then put this chain back onto this group instead. Little things like that, just that way when you bounce those things, you still have a good amount of control, mostly on the things that you had on the whole group itself. So just something to be aware of when you're bouncing into other groups like that. So yeah, this ended up being where kind of the finished drop sounds are at. I'll solo these for a sec. So yeah, it made it a lot easier too, as far as arranging. Once I didn't have to worry about multiple layers to drag around, as well as like the fades too. Like the fades are a pain when you're trying to do just like drop arrangement stuff. If you have multiple layers stacked on top of each other, because you have to edit the layers like manually. You can't just copy the fades. We were talking about that last week. So this was kind of my workaround for that, was just bounce everything to audio again and then kind of arrange and go into the second drop arrangement from there. And then little stuff as far as like group automation. This is just like turning off that gate at certain points where I didn't want that to kick in. This is just some like washout stuff for the tail ends before the brakes. Just that like ever so slight filter out is what that is. And then from there, so these mids groups are off. Those could be deleted at this point. Actually, I'm gonna leave them for right now, just in case I want to dig back in there for whatever reason. Here's the intro stuff. I spent some good time last week going into this, so it's not going to be too in depth. We have this main ARP here, which you heard. And then here, just bringing in a couple other layers, bringing in that respace on the top, or on the bottom, and then there's also a saw that comes in on the top. Yeah, as I said, not a big fan of that. That's going to end up probably getting scrapped, but we'll see. It depends who I end up sending it to for a collab. And then we have just the vocals. There's probably too many different vocals in this song right now, but whatever. I was mindful of, there's obviously a girl doing this first one. G-O-A-T. The other ones, I was pretty mindful of trying to get them to sound at least like in the same neighborhood, as far as like, I just didn't want them to sound too random because there is so many of them. This one's off, but because there's this G-O-A-T, then we have this, then we have this, then we have this, leaving them damaged. Yeah. But you see how I put this crush. It's just this effect chain that my friend gave me. For the most part, though, it's just like some redux. That's what's giving it the crush. These are some saturators, and then there's some delay, OTT, and looks like some general EQing. So that gives it this effect. Like if I turn that off, this one. So that's without, and then that's with. So you can see that once I throw those on the other layers, there's also vocal synth doing a little bit of work as well. I think I have, is it the Formance? No, actually, I think this is one of the presets. I think this is one of the presets. I can't remember which one. Without it, obviously it gets quieter, but also does some taming and then just some OTT there at the end. So by throwing these three things on these other vocals as well, it helps to kind of it helps to make them sound a little bit more cohesive with each other, even though they're very different vocals.
Leaving them damaged, yeah.
Like they're very different, but they don't sound so far off that they're weird being in the same song. And that's kind of, I did that with intention. Let's see. Do you ever automate the stereo field to go more mono as the buildup comes, and then bring it back to full width as the drop hits? I've been doing this lately, and it can be super effective for a more impactful drop. But if you haven't tried, yes, absolutely. I think that's a great trick. I haven't done it in this one, but I typically do that. That's usually something I'll do along with the with a utility automation. So like in this song specifically, so I have a utility on the master that goes down 2 dB. So everything before this drop hits is 2 dB quieter. And then the drop hits, and this actually might be a little bit extreme because if you heard the playthrough, the drop comes in pretty hot. So might not even need that whole 2 dB, but usually I'll do between 2 and 3 dB. And sometimes I won't just automate it on and off. Sometimes I'll just automate the actual gain. There's times where, like, depending on what's going on in the beginning here, sometimes I'll even like automate the gain and the stereo width here to kind of go down just a little bit as the buildup is coming, so that you don't notice it get quieter, but it's just like it's getting just like a little bit quieter, as well as everything's being brought in. And yeah, that just makes it sound way bigger when the drop hits. So yeah, that's a great tip. The other thing that I've been messing with, Patrick D-Trace was showing me this because I use a lot of like bass clef washout, and I'll do it a lot on my groups, but he does a lot on the master, which I haven't messed around with too much. So you'll see all these little peaks are just having the bass clef washout on the master. I talked about this last time, but if you don't have the easy washout, definitely go get it. Just Google it. Just bass clef's easy washout. It's free. It's free online, so download that, and it comes in handy for sure. I love that thing. But anyways, yeah, putting that on the master and just using that just so that instead of just having like certain groups get wider, you're having like everything that's happening in the tune get a little bit bigger at those points. And it's not very much. Like I think this only goes up. Yeah, I'm only going up 35% in these spots, and it's really subtle. But you might be able to hear it. Let's see.
Hey, yo, check me.
So yeah, so you can kind of hear the effect that it's having there, and it's also happening like when there's sweeps happening. So those sweeps just get really big. Any of like those little tails or reverb swell things that you might have coming up sound really big, and then right when it hits this, closes back down, and then you get that power again. So I was using that. I go a little bit higher with the automation when it's going into the breaks.
GOAT.
And there you really hear it. You really hear it in the vocal. You notice it, like how washed out it gets. But I think it's a cool effect. I think it's a really cool effect. And then also with the, I guess I should add this, that with the volume automation, as far as the utility and like adjusting like the intro stuff, I don't necessarily always do it to where it's just like everything before the drop is like X amount quieter. Like this other song that I'm working on right now, the theme section, which that's just what I call it, that theme section was it was like a very much like standalone part of the song. Like it like had its own feel, had its own energy. It wasn't necessarily just strictly like a puzzle piece working up to the drop. So I didn't want that to be quieter. So I left that up at like 0 dB. But then like the section before it, like the intro before it, that was dropped to a lower dB, and then same with the build. So it doesn't necessarily always need to be like everything before the drop is quieter. It just depends on the song. So I just figured I should add that for along with that information. And then where were we at? We kind of hopped into the master a little bit, but so that was vocals, build extras. So this is something that I've started doing recently, and it's a lot of stuff that could be incorporated into your fills, but I've been like adding it as its own separate group just so that it reminds me to like add extra attention to it and that it is its own separate thing. So I mean, but it's effects. Like it's essentially just like effects for your build or like for your drop as well. I think in this one, yeah. So this one I actually didn't separate it out. Usually I'll have like a build extras or like an intros extras. A drop extras is definitely a big one. I'm surprised I didn't separate this out into drop extras, which is actually something that this is kind of missing. And it's not necessarily always just like sweeps and stuff like that, because a lot of that stuff I'll still put in the effects, the separate effects section. But it's like, it's little stuff like this. Like a lot of this character from the build comes from all this stuff. I'm just going to solo this group. So it's a lot of just like random glitchy effects stuff, but in context, it adds so much character to this.
GOAT.
So it just like adds, I mean, this group right here is pretty much like the whole build. I mean, this is what's giving that like all of the energy there, but I'll do the same type of concept in like the drop. So I'll have like a drop extras, and it's not necessarily just sweeps and stuff, like it can be, but it'll be just like little glitch effects, little like short little like laser fill things, and just anything really. Like a lot of times I'll just go through Splice and I'll look at like just like little one-shot effects or like little like glitchy fills, and then not necessarily with like any intention on what I'm doing with them quite yet, just get like a bunch of stuff that I like, and then I'll go in and like just one by one see where I can work it into the drop. And just little stuff like that, little accents, it really helps to fill up the space and just kind of like give it some more life. So this is so this is just what I did for the build one, though. It was a bunch of like robot stomp stuff. This is when I found like the video game section on Splice, and so I think that's where I got that stuff from. But yeah, I definitely recommend doing that, like having like a separate group just for like filler stuff that's kind of separate than like your sweeps. It kind of adds a lot more character. Yeah, that Foley. That's another word for it. Sometimes it's Foley. And then here's the effects. Effects pretty straightforward. If I just solo the effects in the drop here, you can kind of get an idea. So yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. Just making sure that I have these like little textures, like this breathe one. It's sitting back there pretty far, but it helps to fill in that noise. That and then I have like you know, a down sweep here, but then I have it like kind of going into an up sweep, so the energy is constantly moving. Like if it's going down in one spot, it's already starting to build up in another spot just to like keep it rolling. And then that leads into like your fills, and your additional little sweep things, like the shorter ones, like your reverse crashes, stuff like that. They just all kind of play together. Impacts, another big one that's pretty straightforward. And then I skipped fills. Fills is another one that's really straightforward. I really didn't use too many fills in this. Probably should have. Probably should have used some more fills. Like I said though, it's been a weird process, like making a song on stream, especially because I just started streaming, so it's like it's been interesting. But the song turned out pretty cool. But there's certain gaps that I've noticed of like stuff that I would normally do that I just didn't do on here for whatever reason, because I was like on stream and too busy talking about it, I guess. Yeah, and that's it. That's the whole project. So ended up pretty cool. I'm happy with it for what it is. It'll probably be, like I said, sent out for a collab so that it can get kind of reworked. But for these purposes, I think it was successful. I think we did a good job on this. So yeah, it's been this has been a fun project. And then let's run the second drop one last time, I should say. I'm probably not going to listen to this for a while because I'm sick of it.
G-O-A-T. Hey, yo, check me.
Leaving them damaged, yeah.
Hey, yo, check me.
I'm a great
G-O-A-T.
Cool. And then I realized that I forgot to kind of go a little bit more in depth on the master chain. This is pretty straightforward as well. It looks like a lot, but it's really like nothing too crazy. I've made the song with this master rack on. That's what I've been like experimenting with lately, and it's been helping me make sure that the songs are like loud. I don't know, for whatever reason, just like for me producing with the master rack on, kind of producing everything already loud and pretty close to the finished product, when it comes time to like pushing it in the limiter on the master at the end, I've noticed I'm just able to get it louder. I don't know. That's just me though. So all this is doing, let's break this down pretty quickly. Utility here. So this is just giving some headroom. So this is just going down negative 7.33 dB, but I'll usually do anywhere from 6 to 12, just depending on the project. From there, this goes into a saturator, really light. It's 6 dB on the dry, but we're only doing 6% on the dry wet. And then we have mid-side EQ here, cutting out the lows on the sides, doing a slight boost, or a pretty high boost on the tops there on the mids. I went back and forth with this, but just that extra like crunchiness, that brightness on the top end adds some nice presence. And then some OTT, very slight, we're on 8% here. So very slight OTT. Enhance, this is a preset on the overdrive effect. So as you can see, like in the little frequency spectrum thing, it's just giving you some, once again, some brightness on the top end. And then we have multi-band compression. This is at 50%. Just kind of balancing. Let's listen to it like without it. We'll do like.
Hey, yo, check me.
Just giving it some extra squeeze. What's up, Razel? But yeah, so that multi-band compression, just giving it some extra squeeze. You can kind of hear the slight difference. And then the only thing here at the end, typically this rack has this glue compressor at the end. It works. I mean, sometimes I'll use this. I started using like the Pro L instead, and I'm pushing it pretty hard in here. That's what I'm talking about. It's pretty squashed. You could, I mean, look at this.
Hey, yo, check me.
So it's pretty squashed, but it sounds good. Still, it's probably pushed a little bit too hard. Just need some cleaning on the mix down, but it still sounds pretty good. And then we have just the Uline loudness meter. This is what I've started using recently just to measure my volumes, measure my LUFs. So if I pull both these up together, which is what I'll do when I'm pushing it through the Pro L, is take a look at both these together and see how much I'm luffing. So you'll take a look here.
Hey, yo, check me.
I'm a great.
So yeah, I'm sitting right between -3 and -4. So it's pretty loud. It could be maybe a touch louder if the mix down was a bit cleaner. But yeah, that's the track. It ended up, like I said, pretty good. I'm happy with it. So yeah, it's been fun. Today we're gonna go into some sound design though. New save. Yeah, let's hop into some sound design. Let's do some phase plant. I've been messing around. Now that I like know how to use Serum effects a little bit better in context of like adding it on channels that aren't Serum, obviously, it's made sound design. It's kind of given me like more motivation, I guess, when it comes to sound design. It was getting kind of stale for me for a while. I was just kind of like bored with Serum, and I know that there's like a lot that I don't know about it. It was just like my specific process. I was getting bored with, and I found myself doing it less and less. So yeah, I've been branching into phase plant, and I've been having a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun with that, and I definitely recommend it if you guys don't have it. So as this new project is opening up, let's go ahead and throw the demo email on the screen. baceventurademo@gmail.com if you guys are interested in participating in the track feedback. Send your tracks there, and we will review them on Friday. Yeah, send them in, and we'll review them on Friday. Probably about 4 o'clock on my stream. Yeah, probably 4 o'clock. So that's Mountain Time. That's kind of what I'm planning for right now. Nick gets home from work at like 4, like 3:45. So we'll hop in here and we'll do the reviews. So just send everything there. The sooner you send it, send it. But the sooner that you send it, better spot you'll have in the queue. And then yeah, this is just my template that I have. I'm actually gonna This is strictly going to be a sound design project here. So I'm just going to open up a MIDI and we're going to go ahead and delete everything else from my template. Okay, so now we just have the one MIDI track. Let's go ahead and open up phase plant. Cool. Should we play some phase invaders real quick? Let's do it. I suck at this, dude. I like never played these games. I'm doing a lot better than I did last time now. Is there a level 2 of this? No. See, this is where it gets hard, isn't it? I think this is probably where I lose. No. Ah, it dodged me. Man, I thought that was gonna be the one. Okay. So yeah, let's hop into phase plant. Let's see what we can come up with. I'm gonna write some MIDI out because makes it a little bit easier sometimes just so that we have it. Let's do these in what key? I've been sound designing in E lately. Should I keep doing that? Yeah. Let's send it. Yeah, let's do E. Let's turn this on. That's E3. Maybe let's do like E2. That was like a whole 8-bar loop, which is unnecessary. Oops. Just so that we have something there. And then we'll go here. Let's keep messing with the wavetables. I'm still getting used to them. I still don't know them very well, but I'm starting to get a hang of some of the ones that I like and what they sound like and stuff. But I want to keep experimenting with it. I wonder if there's lots of like extra packs online now. Should we look at it? Let's see. Phase plant wavetables. See, they have their wavetable editor is really nice. Seemingly pretty advanced. I just haven't dove into it. Maybe we should do that this week. That could be fun. I'm gonna need to do some research and figure out how it works. I've read the manual, but it's still a little confusing. Yeah, see, there's like really not too much. I don't think there's been like any additional releases for them or anything. It's still pretty new. I feel like there's still a lot of people sleeping on it. On Kilohertz in general, I love their plugins. They've been doing well for me. Yeah, there's not a lot, and it's probably because like there's just so much you can do with the wavetable editor as far as like making your own. That's what I need to dive into. We'll maybe I'll put that maybe on the to-do list for Wednesday then. Alright, so wavetable. Let's mess around. Maybe some of these FM ones. FM growl. What does this sound like? We need to go down an octave. Let's go down another octave. Has a nice tone to it. What's triple FM sound like? Excuse me. Up an octave. Interesting. Not necessarily that. I wonder if we can come up with something cool. Yeah, that's fine. So let's get a couple LFOs going here. This one we're gonna go ahead and route to wavetable position. Yeah, maybe something like that. Let's and then mess with the shape. What's this? Just trying to hone in on that a little bit. Let's mess with this. Maybe something like that for now. Let's go ahead and FM. And if you're new watching this and if you have any questions, please let me know. So FMing to that vocal is weird. Let's mess with the harmonic. Let's look at the other one. Yeah, let's start shaping this a little bit. So the second LFO I'm just going to use for the volume. And then we can adjust this, like let's maybe drop it down to quarter as well. And then we can mess with this here, something like this, maybe. Yeah, maybe something like that. And then you can kind of get that bouncing back and forth thing there. And then I like throwing the saturator on there just because it sounds good. Just give it a little bit more punch. And then we can mess around with the sync here. Pretty metallic-y already, right? Already. Sure. Maybe let's run with that right now. I'm just playing around. What if we FM this one again? Or FM. Sometimes you can get cool effects from that. See, this one has the sync on it, so what if we turn the sync up on this one too? Because then that's running into this one. Yeah, I don't like that. That's how you do it. Still getting used to some of that stuff on here. Trying to find a sweet spot in the wavetable. And then you can modulate this amount. Is it this one, I believe? So that's without. Either way, I think that sounds better without. Okay, so we're starting to shape it a little bit. Let's mess around with this a little bit as well. See if this sounds better coming this way. Guess it doesn't really matter. I do like it better that way though. Okay, so let's start playing around with this stuff. How was I doing it the other day? Let's do the frequency shifter resonator. Out. No, I don't like that on this one. What if we open it up a little bit with the chorus? Turn the rate all the way up. I like the width on that now. We just need to push it a little bit harder. Distortion. See if it goes after the chord. Weird effect. Interesting. Let's do. I haven't messed with the phase distortion that much. That's cool. Yeah, I like the original sound a bit better. Why is it so dry today? I don't know why. Ugh. Need some eye drops. 3-band EQ. Oh. I was confused what just happened. I started playing the MIDI. Makes that really easy. There's that cool movement that's going on, but it's not like present enough. There's a lot of low end coming from that too. Cool, so let's do this then. Let's go ahead and just pop open another group here. Let's go wavetable, output, and then we'll do set this up for some more FM. Wavetable. Let's mess around. Was it the screens? Spectral. I've been trying to get a hold of this, like get the hang of this harmonic blend because I was getting some cool sounds out of it before. Right out of the gate, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw that on the level, and then let's actually turn this off. And then we have this other LFO to toss on this wavetable position. Let's go down an octave. Too low. Let's see with this group. That's some cool cool movement on there. And so all of this is also being ran through going through the outputs, and it's going through lane 1 and then 2 and then 3. So it's already being ran through the same processing as this, just by default of the output. Let's see if we do FM. So this by itself. And then with this. Now it has a little bit more of like that push and pull thing. Let's see if we do that and then set this like this. Yeah, it's just the way those two LFOs are working together. Okay, so kind of a good like basis for a tune there. Or not for a tune, for a sound. And then we have, should we even go, let's go for another layer. Why not? It's the benefit of using phase plant, so I might as well run with it. Oh man. I just got like tired, I don't know why. The coffee wore off from this morning, I guess. Cool. That just has this sub layer underneath it right now. What else should we experiment with? I don't want it to get too noisy. I want to keep it pretty clean, especially because there's so many layers going on. That sounds like it has some coolness to it. I could see that being cool, just the tone of it. So let's go ahead and throw this on the level again, and then we'll do yeah, so then let's find the sweet spot here. I don't like that first one. I almost want to take this off and use this LFO for this. Yeah. I definitely like that better. Sounds best like that. Yeah, I like that. And then we can mess around with maybe. I actually want to wait and do the tonal delay and serum effects. We can kind of get a preview. Sounds good in here though too. I do like that delay. We have saturated distortion. Not gonna do the delay in here. Not gonna bit crush it in here. I don't want to do frequency shifting on it right now. Yeah, I think we might be good. Comp filter. What we did. Needs to relax a little bit. Add some more movement for sure. Maybe before the chorus. Maybe after the distortion now. Yeah, I think right about there, and the chain is going to be good. I'm curious about this as well. I've been wanting to mess with this. So like, as far as like EQing the layers separately, other than sending them to separate lanes, which I guess actually isn't a bad idea. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let's try that. So, send that to lane 1. That's good. let's send this to lane 2, and let's send this to lane 3. And then lane 1, let's send that out to the master, send that out to the master, and lane 3 does go to the master. What do we have now? Completely different sound. What if we do this? And again. This is really loud. Let's crank this back. As opposed, I should have made this easier to A/B it. The other sound was definitely cooler. I think, we had the comb filter affecting everything. Same with this. I like how I split them into different lanes, and I put the same processing on each lane. Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I don't like that. Let's see how, can I go all the way back? See, that's so nice. Now we're back. Yeah, I mean, that sound just sounds way better. The other thing, so if I wanted to EQ these separately, so could I add, so you can add a filter, which if I added the filter, let's say here, I'm not used to seeing filters like this. Oh, this isn't in the right spot. This needs to go up here. Yeah, I don't like doing it that way. Yeah, I don't like doing it that way. Let's do let's bounce out of serum now. Let's keep pushing it. Let's go, and let's try to speed up a little bit too. So let's go serum effects. Oh. Oh man, I need energy. Also, for the new people, if you are watching this, well, it's playing on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook right now. If you have Twitch and you're not watching on Twitch, that's primarily where I'm going to be streaming at, especially in the future. Right now, I'm mirroring it to the other ones, but we'll see how that develops. Main reason is because on Facebook, you have to pay extra to get it to mirror to my music page. That's why you guys see it on my personal page, which I don't necessarily like. I would like to get that taken care of, and so I can have that on my have it on my music page instead. But yeah, if you're watching this elsewhere and you do have a Twitch account, if you can shoot me that follow on Twitch, that does help me a lot. So I would appreciate it if you do like the content, of course. I would appreciate it very much. Okay, so let's hop on here. Let's just start playing around with reverb filter maybe. LFO, let's throw the note latch on there. There's a lot going on in that low end there, which I think needs to be tamed. You can see this peak down here. That's fine though. It's a cool sound. I lost a lot of brightness though, huh? Lost a lot of brightness and volume with this, which could always be fixed later. Combs. Let's see if we do something like that and then maybe add some distortion afterwards. Let's drag these up here. Why is that squashing out like that? It's already being distorted quite a bit. So you lose like all of that like low end punch there. Let's give it some movement this way first, maybe. Kind of do like a high notch thing. Just help shape it a little bit, and then we'll go here. That initial. I like that. There's a lot of noise going on there. I think it's from the distortion. It's definitely bringing it up. I think this needs to be toned back just a hair. Yeah, something like that. And then what if we bring this here? Let's turn the distortion off, turn the filter back on. Wow. Yeah, it's other than losing a lot of volume, And see, now that I turn it up, it made it so hollow. Let's turn this mix down and maybe do this, and then let's mess with this shape a little bit. Let's do similar to like what was doing controlling the volume in Bace, like some like this. You can tell it's not exactly right. But maybe we run with that then. If it's not going to be right, let's make it real wrong. It's a lesson for life right there. Start getting some like cool variations. See, I don't know though. Then this is like the same curve that we have for like the wavetables and stuff. It's going up that way, but then we're going half the speed. Let's go the other way. I don't like either of those. Do like peak right in the middle. Even just that second hand sounds good. See, that's the only thing. Sometimes that trigger's weird, I don't know why. See, because this doesn't seem to re-trigger. See, like it doesn't re-trigger like that. But if I go off, see, it still doesn't do it. Let's go off envelope. It doesn't, but I'm wondering off MIDI. This is too high. And let's go. Yeah, you have this ugly peak down here. Okay, so let's do this. Maybe we can mess around with the tonal delay. Let's see. Let's bring this down just a little bit, and then we'll put this on the mix as well. Is it? See, it wasn't planned this. See, that's the only annoying thing is when this like re-triggers, it's like, I don't know how to control that. Does it give you any information on that? How did I pop that up? See, because even if it's on trigger, see, like it's not doing that. It's not restarting it's not restarting every time that happens. Which is something that I've found to be annoying, but I end up bouncing everything to audio anyways. So as long as I can like get that good enough to bounce to audio and then, you know, adjust it so that it's like what I need, and that's fine. Because I like that. But stuff. It's not always the same. Just kind of annoying. Like I like that. I don't know. It's gonna have to be one of those things. With sounds like this, I've been trying to think about the best way I like kind of want to build my like sample library type thing, and I think like certain things, like certain sounds, like what this ends up being, because it's kind of particular, like with the serum effects on it. I'll probably bounce to audio, put that audio into my sample pack just with like all like my waves, and then save this rack. Save this patch in Serum, and then save the rack under my instrument racks as well. Which I've been trying to get better at. Let's mess with like a little bit of Yo Man. Let's keep it before the EQ. See, that's the only annoying part though, is it sounds different every time. Like there's just too much stuff changing. There's too much changing, which makes it hard for the post-processing. So I'm wondering if I go, let's see, so if I try to resample this, let's figure this out. Let's try it again from here. See, completely different. Was that different? So that time was the same. Let's run it again. Oops. Run it again. Oops. Interesting. So then if you have this, let's turn this off. Now let's try Yo Man. Now we should be able to control it a little bit more. That's like some void intro stuff. Let's mess with that. What was it? Not corpus. Grain delay. Rubber band. Random pitch down. Yeah, no. I don't like working on it, right? I just don't see the need to work with that in audio right now. I actually want to go back to this. So this is what our LFO that's controlling the level is doing. It's just the fact that that keeps changing. I wonder if that's like a known thing. Let's see, serum effects trigger not working. See, I already looked at this one. Let's see if we can find the answer though, because this would help. So you can also trigger LFOs and envelopes by sending a MIDI signal directly to the plugin. Like that, just by having like a MIDI clip on it. In Ableton, it's done through an external MIDI instrument. Wait. What? So the MIDI goes there, which is sending it here. I've never used this, so I don't know. Does that not work like that? So it gets the MIDI signal. If I turn this on, so if I delete, oh wait, I deleted faceplant. Whew, I thought that initialized my patch. So that doesn't work like that, or at least I don't know how that works. Should be able to connect macros and LFOs to the effects. Yeah, but we're talking about triggering them. Because they don't trigger correctly. So if I do this, it should just sync to the clock. Should I? It's a little bit gray outside. Should I? Now's a good chance to use my light. Is that lighting too much? Now it looks good. That's chill. It's a little bit blinding though. I'm gonna turn that down a smidge. That's a bit softer. Okay. That's a cooler white right there. See, that's the only thing I haven't been able to figure out, which, if I could figure this out, what's this? Can I watch YouTube?
Hey there guys, welcome back to Artifact Studios. Today is a really quick video about Serum Effects. Serum Effects is really great, I'm absolutely loving it. It means that now you can put Serum, the effects with the built-in LFOs and envelopes. However, I'm filtering, but that's not really important. It's just a simple basic Reese that sounds like this. I then added serum effects, and inside there I added the hyper dimension to give it some width, because this is quite a monophonic bass. I then added an EQ, and that EQ, if we look at it, oh, that's pretty cool. You can now actually switch to the effects by clicking on them. That's pretty cool as well. Now, if you look at the EQ and look at LFO number 1, I have this LFO right here. It's just a simple shape, and that will control the EQ. And you can see I have a really resonant boost. If I just turn this one off for now, you can see I have that boost right there, and that's put before the distortion.
I feel like it's so unnecessary for him to be explaining this patch right now.
Tube distortion is bumped up all the way, so we really get a very crunchy sound, and that's after the tube distortion. Really powerful, I mean, really gets that gritty nerve funk sound. And then I put that peak in front of it. Really kind of like emphasizes some of the parts. And I've done the same, but I've created a cut.
I don't know why he's explaining this.
And sounds pretty cool. Look at here, if you're familiar with Serum, when you trigger a note, you would see a little node move, a little ball, you know, move along that line, and that's basically your indicator where the modulation is at that particular given point in time. You can't really see that right now. I mean, there's nothing going on. If I go to the matrix, you can see I have 3 modulations going on, and these indicators, those little blue things, would normally indicate where the modulation is at any point at any given time. But if I now play this, you can see they're not doing anything. So how can we make that work? Well, the thing is, to make those work, you need to input some notes into Serum Effects, otherwise it doesn't work. And how you do that is really simple. No, delete that track for now. First thing you're gonna do is create a new MIDI track by doing that. And what you now want to do is take a MIDI clip with some notes in it and put those right here on that track. So you can see I have some slightly different notes. I mean, you can take the clip that you've already had, like this one, you can do that. But you have to be sure that every note in here will trigger the LFOs. So if I have this part where there's a couple of other notes in there, the LFO will be re-triggered when this note starts. I might not want that, so what I did is I created this clip, which basically just has 1 bar notes in there. So that means that every 1 bar, the LFOs and the envelopes will be re-triggered. So that's really helpful, and that way you can create really awesome modulation. Now,
So maybe this is explaining how to do the external instrument thing then. It sounds like that's kind of where he's going with this, but we'll see.
What I need to do is right here on the output, it says no output, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna route this into the other track, and that's the 1F Distorted Madness. So I'm gonna do that, and then we get the track in knob right below it. I'm gonna click that, and I'll get 2 options. One is the sampler. I can feed some of the signal into the sampler, but I don't want to do that. I want to feed it into Serum FX. So I'm gonna click that, and now when we go back to the Serum FX track, we should be able to see the LFOs moving as soon as I play the sound. See? And suddenly my EQs are moving, and I've got a filter down here that's also going to be moving. But you can see how we can already make this sound much more interesting. Now, what is going on here? I've just taken that first LFO and put it on the EQ. So
I don't know why he's explaining the patch. Yeah, it's mostly just that tip. So let's see if that works then. So let's turn the note latch off. So it's going to freeze these, and then let's try what he did then. So, oops. Let's go MIDI track. I'm just going to throw this on there, because I'm just not like I'm writing anything with it. Stop. There we go. Okay, so he routed this to phase plant onto serum effects. And now I believe. So that did work. Let's double check just to make sure. So if I do this, and double this. Shouldn't it re-trigger when it hits this, even though this is on quarter? Why is it not re-triggering here? So if this clip is off, nothing. If this is off and this is on, I don't get any movement from the I don't get any movement here. That's so why would it be set up that way? Yeah, I don't know why that would be set up that way. That's kind of a pain. Yeah. That's going to take some experimenting with, but it's something. That's like, it definitely helps a bit. So if I turn this on, so I'm redlining the master a little bit. Screw the master. Okay, so now that's so weird that it does it that way though. So that this would be the same, so it doesn't matter if I do it this way. I mean, even if it's quarter notes right now, so if I go, actually, I do want to experiment with this a little bit. So go a bit. Huh. Okay. So but it's triggering twice. That's so strange. I don't know how that works. Because it kind of, I mean, that's why, so this MIDI feeding into the serum effects is what's causing that to trigger. Because if I turn this off and we just have this, I don't get any movement here. But if I turn this on, wait. Is it because that? And then now if I go this. Yeah, I guess we'll run with kind of using that then. That's interesting. That's weird that they do it that way, or that it would be set up that way. So you have to send MIDI from like an external channel if you want to trigger this without using the note latch. Huh. I'm learning more about this like every session. Cool. Well, let's just keep going with this then. Yeah, let's keep going with this. Let's try to get this wrapped up so we can hop into another sound. At least we're figuring stuff out though. Okay, so let's do this. Turn on the noise oscillator. So this is routed to the noise oscillator, which in Serum Effects, it gives you this audio in option. So this is what's pulling your sound into this filter. And so now we can mess with this. You lose all that beef on the low end. I think even just that slight EQ movement here is going to be the move. And can I do that in just phase plant? Let's see. Okay, so here's this EQ, but can I move those peaks? Or would you only be able to do that here? So I can move the low end, but I don't have a notch or a peak that I could then adjust. So I don't know if you can do that in here. There's probably some workaround way to do it. Slice EQ. Because this, I don't think you can. Let's see, because if I have this. So you can do the mix. Yeah, so you can do the mix. But sorry for all the noise in the background too. Destro's being way too loud in the next room. Carvey Q. So I'm sure you can move that. Huh. So with that specifically, it makes most sense to do it here. Yeah. I think that's just how that's going to work. There we go. Then this is just doing. So this is what cleans it up a bit. But I'm not using the delay. You can, if you want it to be a little bit more robotic-y, and then with the comb. Interesting sounds. Cool. And then let's do some EQing on this real quick. Might as well. Trying to be as not lazy about my EQing as possible. Even though this isn't in context of the song. Yeah, see that's... I mean, you could hear that in the sound too. Let's up this Q a little bit. Just take out that mud that's right there. There's another kind of rough res. Let's see what else we have. As usual. Right there. That's it right there. Yeah, maybe not as extreme. Let's go turn 4 into a bell. That's fine for right now. It's not. Cool. That sounds fine. Yeah, that sounds good. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's just group this. Yeah, let's just do it this way. Not rename. And then we bring, what am I doing? Let's bring phase plant. Okay. So we'll do this wave table. Let's mess with the spectral comb over. Oops. So I can turn this off now. So I can turn this off. So let's do this then. Let's turn this off. Let's drag this here so we just have something. And then we'll go ahead and let's just prep this right away. Because it sounds like this is kind of going to be the method of doing this. Phase plant. And then we don't have the serum effects on it yet. I guess I could just toss it on. Just so we can have that set up. Serum effects should give us the option here. And then we can drag this in as well. Cool. Now I was going to say I shouldn't be doing anything because we don't have anything in serum effects yet. So we can go back to phase plant. It's real guttural there at the end. Just a nice, nice mouthy one there. So let's go with LFOs again. Do LFO here. Bring this down. Let's put this on the wave table. Slow it down. See, I want to go. So it just has that like real nice talkiness to it, and then sure we can play around with, oh yeah, let's go ahead and throw this on the level as well so we could start shaping this. Let's do a similar type of thing as the other one. Yeah, so we'll just do like a similar type of curve as the other one, and then here we can go ahead and let's put this down to the quarter again, and similar type of shape once again, something like that. That's fine. I could probably make the grid smaller and fine tune it a little bit more, but so now we get like the wah 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 wah. Okay, so let's route this into the phase. Okay, so now it's getting a little bit thicker there. Let's go ahead and just throw the saturator on. Okay, something like that. Cool. And that's what's cool about Phase Plant that I've been liking too, is it's so quick to like go in and just like throw, like for layering on sounds, just like putting like simple layers together, and then you can just make the sound as thick as you want to because of all the different like groups of oscillators that you can set. So we'll do another one. Let's go wavetable again. Let's find something else. Maybe instead of what did we do? We did comb over last time. What's rubber sound like? We don't have an output on this, so let's throw the output down. Let's throw another analog. That way we can do FM on that. That sounds like it might have some like cool mouthiness that can complement that a little bit. So same type of thing. We'll toss this on there, and then let's go ahead and oh, did I mess that up? Wait, was that like that? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so then I want to put this here. So this by itself, let's check it out. Let's see what we can get when we FM it. It's very similar. We're going to have to listen to that in context. That's cool. It's getting there. Let's... maybe instead of doing that, let's mess with the same. Yeah, maybe like something like that. Cool. Let's keep it sending it. Let's do this again. We're gonna go output. We're gonna go analog. Here. I need some water. Everyone in chat, tell Destro to shut up. Let's see. I haven't like really checked these out at all. Let's turn this down so I can hear what we're doing. What an interesting looking wavetable. Cool. Yeah, I'm not going to use that, but it's cool to know that that's there. Maybe we do another spectral one. What, we tried the rubber one, didn't we? Overtone scanner. What's this? No. That's cool though. I don't know. We did that one last time. Let's do one of the growl things. So these might be too close to what we have existing, but like, oh well, let's send it. So let's do that, and then let's throw this. I need to stop doing that. This on. Snails. That has some ouchy stuff in it. I think this needs to be, because we can mix these. Let's mess with that. So that definitely adds some movement. There we go. Something like that. Now we can mess with the FM. Let's actually switch this. Just kind of makes that nice. See if we do this. Okay. Okay, so we have that. Let's go ahead. Should we mess with disperser? Interesting. What do we do? Last time we did the chorus. We do more distortion. Yeah, let's try more distortion. I like using both of them. I really like just using their distortion in general. Just pushing it a little bit more, and then there's that comb filter that we messed with. Yeah, let's play with that again. There we go. I don't really think this is... I've been liking that, using that chorus just to open him up a little bit more like that. I just don't necessarily like it on this. There's the ring mod. Let's just let's hop into Serum Effects. I'm trying to be productive today, and we only got one sound done. We did do the track overview though too, so that's something. And I do recognize that it's coming out really hot through here. And are we clipping this hard? How hard are we pushing this right now? Oh, it's not bad. It's fine. I'll do that to catch the peaks a little bit. So then here, should we just hop in? Let's do a little bit of shaping with the EQ again a little bit. So now in this situation, so if I go trigger, something like that, and then we'll go this. as opposed to the notch. I like that. Yeah, something like that. It has like that bubbliness. So much low end in that too. Yeah, a lot of sub frequencies in that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and mess with the filter. Maybe like a flange. Oh, and then the other thing. Let's leave that for now. Really like kind of brings out that like bubbliness. This is kind of doing like the high notch, but it's like the peak instead of the notch. Let's see if we mess with the ring mod. Ring mod times 2. Bring down the volume a lot there. Let's go into the combs. That's like cool in its own way. Obviously, completely different sound. That the combs just changes it so much. We already have that one comb on it though. That's cool. That just has so, it's so like, the low end is just so much on that. Yeah, well, ideally this would be up here. Just kind of take out some of those low peaks, but that's fine for now. Let's mess with that. Let's go a similar type of shape as that volume automation again. There's like so many cool sounds that you can get, but it's so finicky. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. I don't know why. I've just been getting such a habit of throwing the all passes on here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's a nice little third element in Serum Effects to do. It actually cleans out some like the messy low end on that. I'm not sure I like the reverb, but I like the idea kind of that sound going a bit higher. So that reverb. Oh, it's because the all pass is on. I forgot. I was confused there for a sec. I don't know. Maybe my. So if I did run with the reverb. So if I did run with something like that, and then I do, now we can mess with the delay, the chorus, I guess. It like adds that like rhythmic thing there at the end. Before. Maybe like 75%, something like that, just so it mixes in a little bit of the other signal. Let's go ahead and bring the EQ after this. If we do the Yo Man before the Sherm effects. Don't like that as much, which makes sense. We were messing with that grain delay too. Let's see if we can get that to work on this sound. And my other project that was working, this rubber band. Maybe we go through these a little bit. Nope. Hold on. I don't like what that does to it. At least not with the Yo Man. Let's see if we take the Yo Man off and then throw this on there. Gets real rid of me. What do these other ones do? Should we experiment with these ones just to see? Accent. Let's see what that does. Borg. Bubbles. It's not a bad effect. Like, not for this, but like that's something. Drum electrifier. Quarter tones. That's cool. Like that tail right there? Like reverse that as like a little build thing. Puts it in the back and like spreads it, but like in a cool way. Okay, yeah, I think that's enough of that. So the last one we had made was and then this one, which is this one's not anything to write home about. Layered correctly, those might be good. Are you using Helm? I don't know what Helm is, so probably not. I'd be more than willing to help you if I could. Oh no, I'm using Phase Plant. Yeah, right now I've been using Phase Plant and then just Serum Effects. That kind of with that other layer is kind of nice, but we'll see. Let's come up with something different, not that like that same LFO pattern. Oh, yeah, no, sorry, man. We're doing Phase Plant today. I've never played with Helm before. Let's see. So we'll go Wavetable Editor. Did I turn that other one off? No. So these, let's go ahead and turn these off. We'll solo this, and then we'll set this up once again the same way. Set it up for the Serum Effects. So we'll go Serum Effects here, and then route this to this Phase Plant to the Serum Effects, and then we can go ahead and just drag this MIDI down. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So now we're set up for the next sound. Let's go. Smample? Smample? Sure, let's run with that. Let's send it. Let's do this one maybe just as a one shot. Just as like that quick quarter note one shot thing. And then let's go ahead and we'll put this. Let's find the sweet spot. Let's also just might as well toss this on here. And these are just on the sign right now. Let's go ahead and what's that? Let's do that, and then let's do our normal kind of basic thing here. Okay, now it's kind of set up for the one-shottiness. Saturator sounding beautiful. And then we have, let's go ahead and run this. Okay, sounding really basic right now. Leave that as is. Sure, let's go ahead and eat that up like that. That's fine. Yeah, let's do that. And then we can mess with, let's see if we FM the FM. Okay. Maybe like that with that little accent on it, and then we'll go here. Let's go wavetable, output, analog, and then we can go something with like a little more movement, I assume. And these, they obviously don't have the LFOs on them, that's why they don't sound good. Just auditioning the tone though. I don't know, let's see. So let's put this on here first. This is gonna help. The heck? Yeah. It's a little bit better. Just trying to find for something that has like some good movement that I like. Where's that? This one? I like that. I like that lower one. Let's find that. There we go. Yeah, something like that. Let's see. Do we want to FM this or no? I kind of like it without. I kind of like that as it is. Okay. Okay. All right. So we have that. Let's go. Let's go ahead and get this on the level. I need some more like overall, and I think it's because of this. No. This is why it's so blocky though. Obviously. So those other ones sounded better like this. But I'm wondering, let's see, I wonder if I... What if we go... No, that sounds... See, I need this to breathe more, but it's... I already made the sound kind of work like that with the right tone. Let's see. Unless we do Yeah, so maybe we do like instead of just like that quick one shot like quarter note thing, we like speed that up a little bit. Or not speed it up, slow it down, stretch it out a little bit. Actually, I have to pee. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I will be right back. All right, we're back. Yeah. So we have big, monstrous one right there. What if this is? So let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do with this. Maybe not that one. What if we do this one? Oops. Nah, I don't really like that. Yeah, let's initialize this. I want to do this over. I really want to experiment. Let's experiment with the sampler. Yeah, let's experiment with the sampler. Let's pull up this. I was looking for some vocal samples last night. Let's see what's in the glitch mob one. I've seen some of this because I think, yeah. So they've been. I think they did it with that like album from like 10 years ago. For some reason, I can't remember what it's called, but they just like break the whole thing down. Fills lead maybe. Get some cool stuff. They've kept such a consistent sound over the years. What's up, West Stomp? What you doing today, boy? Let's see. Goth Melodics. Oh wait, I passed it. Wonder what's in here. Go to it. Goth Melodics. Oh, did I misspell it? I did. Goth Melodics. Wow, I still spelled it wrong, but it caught me that time. Caught me that time. What's in here? Those are cool. Okay, so let's find something. It's just something to like mess with. Yeah, I know, right? That new morph merge. Dope, dude. That's cool. You have some new music? The last one I heard was the one that was on stream at the feedback session. Tear out dubstep. Let's just go random. Don't necessarily want to do a VR one, but I will. I like Hero Bust one. Relax, dude. Jeez. Yeah, sure. That's most of that. So the other thing I was wondering about, because I think obviously that like repeats, but I don't think there's like an option. I haven't found a way to like cut it in the sampler, so I think you might have to cut it outside. So like if I go. Let's go. Is this warped right? It's not. Da 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 da. Okay, so like if I have something like that, and then I can consolidate this. So now, if I drag this into phase plant, I have this window so giant right now. See, it won't. Why won't it take it like that? Yeah, I feel you. Just keep grinding, bro. You got it. You've come a long way. For sure. Since that first collab that we attempted to make. You need to chill on your snares a little bit, but other than that. See, it's weird how like I can edit this, but it won't let me drag that in. But I think if I go straight from, see if I go straight from, okay, so I can pull that side in. So that's for the loop length. This is the offset, so that drags that front one. So I wonder if I have to. They're good, dude. You have good snares. They're just fucking ginormous. Okay. Wait, am I playing from here? Why am I not getting anything? So I need it. Let's get this right. Okay, so with one. So then I just have to set the loop. Okay, so if I have something like that, so let's experiment with this. So if I go here, put this on the, and then let's do our LFO shape. Something like that maybe. Yeah, I feel you. I'm trying to. That's like what I'm doing this week. Because I'm just doing like I'm spending all week just doing sound design and just like melody writing and stuff like that. And then next week I'm gonna do some like just straight arrangement and writing and try to knock out some knock out some stuff. Because that's like the issue that I was running into is I would get so frustrated because I'd be writing and then like I would spend too much time on like a sound and then get frustrated with that and then go too deep down the rabbit hole of sound design when I'm trying to like write and then it just like kills my progress. So if I go loop, so let's go something like that, and then let's try to FM that. Change this. Let's do a fast rate. Yeah, dude, sure. Send it over. So if I pitch, see, but it's not warped, so it speeds it up. Sure, maybe let's run with that. So if I do this, now let's go about our other process. So just wavetable, output, analog. Now let's go through here. What was that one that we were just messing with? Come over. So I have this on the LFO, so we'll use this one for the wavetable. We'll put this in this order because that's the order I had it in the other ones. Won't make me confused. So then we can toss this on here. I don't have this one routed to anything yet. So noisy. Hold on. Yeah, maybe like that. And let's audition some of these other ones. See. I like that harmonic blend one. I keep coming back to it. Hell yeah. Do you mind if I listen to it on stream? Like, I'll listen to it right now. This just sounds like garbage. It's because I tried to. What did I do? Oh, it's the FM. FMing that might not have been. So just kind of have that other one take the lead. Yeah. See, I haven't had much success with like the sampler yet, but they have like some of this stuff in here, although I think it is a little bit different. Let's see how some of these. Some of these are so intricate. Where's those hi-hat sequencer? Let's see. That's cool. It's like a whole song, one key. Future Bace. That's so cool that they have this all. How do they do that? It has to be in these LFOs, right? So they have it. That's so cool. Yeah. Phase plant is the move. I want to make like a whole drop just in like a phase plant patch. Wow. Okay. Yeah, let me pull up your song, dude. Let me go to this song. Let's see. Yeah, dude. That bundle is where it's at. I do use that tape stop all the time. Let me go on messages. You drag it over. One more again. We're gonna run that one more again. Yeah, I like the flow on that for sure. I could see like why you want to change that sound a bit. It doesn't like quite fit, but like from what I can see, what you're doing with the flow, at least on that sound, that's gonna be cool. I like a little like harpy thing that you threw in there. If you get that real like ulasile type shit, like that could be really cool. It sounds good though. See in this, the snare isn't bad in here. It's like, see, this is like, I feel like what you're gonna kind of go towards is like still have those, because like the snare's still huge in this, but it's not distracting. Like it sits in there a lot better. Yeah, it's really really swampy. It sounds cool though. I like the idea of like putting those little RP things in there. That sounds good. It adds a lot to it for sure. I like using that or how you're using the 808 for the sub bass too. It could use like a little bit more movement in that sub bass, just like a little bit more, because I like the idea of keeping it pretty simple, just like with the 808. But a little bit more movement for sure. But obviously, it's a whip. Here, let me show you that. There's not a lot of people in here anyway, so I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you that new one that you had commented about. If I could find it. Oh, this one. Yeah. Yeah, once that comes together, it'll be solid. That right there, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like doing like the sound design sessions first, because it's such a pain, at least for me, to like go backwards. Well, you'll get it for sure. Once that comes together, that'll be really cool. This project's kind of big, so it takes a second to open up. Okay, here we are. So yeah, nobody's heard this other than yeah, my roommates, and then just like the little clip from Instagram. But yeah. So yeah, I'll show you this. It's not quite done, but the idea is definitely there. Yeah, dude, it sounds good. Yeah, let's run this. I'm curious to see what you think.
This shams, you can take my shit. Baseline hit, some more A-line this. This shams, you can take my shit. Baseline hit, some more A-line this. I rep mine. This shams, you can take my shit. Baseline hit, some more A-line this. This shams, you can take my shit. Baseline hit, some more A-line this. You be the one that's me get that. You can take my shit, take my shit. You the one that's me get that. You can take my shit. You the one that's me get that. You can take my shit. You the one that's me get that. Baseline hits on the line. My boy was good. Oh, bitch, you died. Big up, true. Just round there with the shooters, troopers. We wanna see me get facts. We wanna see me get fat. The big gas. We wanna see me get facts. We wanna see me get fat. The big gas. Killer, Big up, true. And just round there with the shooters, troopers. We wanna see me get back. You can take my shit, take my shit. You wanna see me get back. You can take my shit. You wanna see me get back. You can take my shit. You wanna see me get back. Baseline hits, I'm on your line. My boy was good. Oh, bitch, you died. Big up, true. Big up. You wanna see me get facts? You wanna see me get fat? The big gas. You wanna see me get facts? You wanna see me get fat? The big gas. Killer, Big up, true. Big up.
Yeah, that's what I've been working on. I'm pretty happy with it. It definitely like needs a little bit more work. I can like still hear some stuff that I'm like not super happy with, but I really like this. I'm excited about this one, and it's Just a solo one too. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I was thinking about if I was gonna play this through, but there's not a lot of people in here anyways, so figured I might as well show you. I'll probably do a track breakdown on this later once I figure out. I might send this to like see if I can get it on like some type of label or something. But yeah, the sound design worked out pretty well in this. Okay, yeah. I thought I had like all of my sound doubled throughout that whole thing for some reason, but all of this has just been bounced to audio. So I've just been doing like everything in audio, especially by the time I get to like arranging and stuff like that. But it came out really good. I like a lot of this is just like the mixture of using like phase plant and serum effects. I like this part a lot. The
Big up.
wait. This one.
Killer.
I like that. That one's vibey. I just like on Saturday I like filled it out a little bit more with some of like the this drop extra stuff. Just all this stuff to make it sound. That stuff helps so much. Add that type of stuff to your drops. Makes them sound way bigger. For sure. And then I don't even know if there's anything else cool about this drop. This project was actually kind of difficult, especially like at the beginning, because I wrote this intro first. Like I wrote this without the vocals, like just this. I wrote that first, and I had no idea what I was going to do with it. But I knew I wanted to make like a whole song out of it because this was like, I just liked that a lot. But I tried so many different drops. Like, I didn't know what vibe. Like, I wasn't sure if like this should go like future bass or like what. But yeah, I ended up turning into dubstep, and then I found those. I chopped up some different vocals to throw on top of that. Yeah, I have yeah. I have this is kind of what I'm using. It's really back there. I don't even know if you could hear it. If I crank it. Just that right there adds like helps like add a lot of tension. And then it's just like that, obviously mixed in with the white noise, and then those little laser things. And then the other cool thing that Patrick actually was, because I showed him this, and he was like, he liked it. He gave me the advice, which I thought was pretty interesting. I like layered this like that glass breaking thing like over the kick, and then the kick is layered with the snare, so it's hitting on like both the kick and snare. So just this. It's interesting because it's almost like acting like a ride, but I don't know. Like in context, like you like kind of hear it, but yeah. See, like I'll put layers like that on the snare sometimes, but he was specifically saying to like just have it on the kick, but I left it on like the kick clap as well. Yeah, probably. Oh yeah, the that vocal. The funny part about that vocal right there, Dante knows obviously because he was there. But this right here is Nick.
Oh, bitch, you thought?
That was Nick. I was like working on this drop, and he like came up with the idea of throwing that in like before the like after that like switch up thing or the delayed drop. So I just had him record it right then and there.
Oh, bitch, you thought?
And I layered it with the lower one.
Oh, bitch, you thought?
That lower.
Oh, bitch, you thought?
But in context, it's money. I like it especially here too.
Oh, bitch, you thought?
Yeah. It sounds sick. I like it. So we'll see what ends up happening to this. I'm pretty much just gonna like sit on this for a while because I like knocked this out pretty quick. So I'm probably gonna like not touch it for like a couple weeks and then come back to it and see what else I'm hearing. But I'm starting to like stack some unreleased tunes. Like I have like a good amount of unreleased now. Like I have the one with Morph, which is coming out this month. I have that one with High Zombie, and then I have that solo tune. I'm missing one, and then this one, and then the one that I was working on stream now. So I was starting to stack some unreleased stuff, but thanks, brother. All right, it's 5:09, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. I have some other stuff I got to get done, but thanks for hanging out, dude, and everybody else that hung out today. I do appreciate it. Be back on Wednesday as usual at 2 o'clock. We'll continue doing some sound design. Maybe I'll do some research on that wavetable editor and we can dive into making some wavetables. But other than that, stay up to date with the socials, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day. Happy Monday, guys.
Yeah.